I'm going to talk about the renal diet, which is what people on dialysis would go on, not necessarily people with stage 1 to 4, but stage 5 chronic kidney disease. I have a very small screen for you, so I apologize for that. Basically, with the renal diet, we're trying to limit the amount of sodium, potassium, and phosphorus that the patient is getting. Their kidneys don't work. They can't get this out of their system like you and me can. So sodium, too much of that can cause fluid retention, and it could kind of get the blood pressure out of control a little bit, so that's why we restrict that. Potassium, if that builds up, it can cause problems with your heart. Potassium and sodium are used as channels to help control your heartbeat. Too much potassium and you could stop. And then phosphorus, too much of that will leak the calcium out of your bones, and you can't get rid of the calcium, so what does it do? It builds up in your tiny blood vessels and your heart arteries and things like that. So all sorts of reasons to limit these things. So we also, this diet sucks. It sucks to be on. And so you want to make it as liberal as you can while still keeping them safe. So a lot of things that are on the menu they can have, but maybe in small amounts, or maybe depending on what their labs say. So on the renal menu, all the salt shaker items are taken off, and no no actual salt packets, salt shakers. We're going to limit beans and legumes, which, can anyone guess what else legumes would mean?
What was
Grains. No. Beans.
Peanuts and peanut butter.
Would not have guessed.
What about that salt substitute we got? Can they have that?
We have new salt. New salt.
No, that would be made with potassium.
Yes, it is.
So we would no on that. And then nuts can be pretty high in phosphorus. We limit the beans, legumes, nuts. They're high in phosphorus. They're kind of a double whammy. They also have a lot of potassium. Only half a cup of dairy per day, and that includes fluid milk, ice cream, pudding, cottage cheese, all that stuff. It's very high in phosphorus. We can only allow cranberry or apple juice. Those are the lowest in potassium. Orange juice, no citrus fruits. It's way too high in potassium. No bananas, no prunes. Again, the potassium. We can allow fresh tomato, but in small amounts. So if their labs look good that day, they can have the tomato on their burger. No baked potatoes, no potato chips. They can have a quarter cup of mashed potatoes each day. The skin of the potato has a lot of potassium, good for you and me, not them. And of course the salt substitute, which you just asked, thank you for asking.
So we would make mashed potatoes in the kitchen then,
yes.
Right? Not order it from store.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be instant.
Mm-hmm. And this is the renal menu. I forgot to take some things off, so I blacked them out. So to help remember, there are little stars or even like a cross by some things, and then at the bottom or the back side of each menu, it tells you why the star's there and what you need to do. So I don't know if anyone wants to look at that or pass it around. Some of the stars, so the 1 star is to limit to ½ cup per day. That's all the dairy products. The 2 stars says to please check with nursing for lab values. If they say it's good, you're good to go. That's mostly the phosphorus foods, tomato and oatmeal. And then the little cross is to remind you of the mashed potatoes. So I should also point out that like 40 to 50% of people who are on dialysis also have diabetes. So along with this diet, they will probably also have their carbs counted. Another bummer.
Wow.
Yeah. End-stage renal disease, the main causes are diabetes and hypertension, so they're going to have a lot of chronic diseases that they need to control. Questions in general?
Have we had renal patients yet?
Not yet.
We had one.
Oh, we did have one, didn't we?
It was just for one meal though.
Yeah.
Then he left.
Yeah. I don't know how many we'll have or how many like St. Eve's or I always say St. Eve's. Good Sam, goodness. Okay. Hey, they're all remembered. I don't know how many they get and how many, do you know how many dialysis centers we have in Kearney, if any?
I don't know
I
of
think there's
any.
at least two.
If there are some.
There are at least one, I thought.
I would think there'd be
Just a
one.
center.
Yeah.
I think I've passed one that says dialysis.
Okay.
So.
Encourage protein, lots and lots of protein. When they get dialysis, their blood's being filtered through a machine, and that also filters out their blood protein. So we need to make sure that they're getting plenty of that. They want double eggs. Hey, double eggs are good. Whatever they feel like. If they want 2 burger patties and a single bun, then that's good too.
Oh, wow.
We limit whole grain bread. Actually, we encourage the white. It's lower in phosphorus. I'm trying to think of any other technicalities.
Is there ever a time where they're on like a low protein too diet?
If they're not on dialysis.
If they're not, okay.
So up until they get to dialysis, they're trying, protein is limited because their kidneys can't filter that out, and it's kind of a heavy load for them. Once dialysis starts, then you have to up the protein, so, yeah.
This is like almost as bad as low sodium low fat.
It's worse.
Yeah, oh, way worse.
I mean, yeah. That's what I meant. Worse
Yeah.
than low sodium low fat.
So, I mean, don't be, depending on the patient, don't be surprised. I hope they won't get angry with you or be upset with their limited options. Hopefully not being able to see all the options will maybe not make them upset. I don't know.
Wouldn't you
but-
think, a question that if a person were in the hospital and they had that kind of a problem, that they probably didn't pay as much attention to it at home, that they're going to get the attention here in the hospital, and that may be the only attention they ever get.
What do you mean?
I mean, they don't, it would, would, never mind.
No, okay.
My question is if they're not, they haven't followed any kind of diet, then it would be a real shock to them coming here and
Mhm.
saying, this is what you have to have,
Mhm.
and you can't have anything else.
And that's, honestly, that might be the main reason they're in the hospital. They haven't gone to dialysis, they haven't paid attention to their diet. They come here because they passed out from, all that stuff in their blood, so that's likely.
I think that's a shock to every patient because they're always like, oh, I don't eat that way at home.
What? I'm a low sodium low fat patient? What?
Yeah, I'm low sodium low fat.
What's fat?
They always can't have bacon?
I eat bacon every day. Any other questions? Good questions. It's fun to talk about. Not fun for them, I'm sorry.
Well, you can have pot roast.
Hey.
Any questions about the bariatric diet while Maureen's here too? That maybe you
With
guys-
the cups,
I haven't even got to see it.
I mean, that's.
It's gonna be coming more according to Travis, so.
From what I understand, Wednesdays are going to be kind of your bariatric days. So
Okay.
that's nice that it's
It's
at
nice
least
to know.
limited to a day, so you'll be prepared.
is that when they come here and have they get x-rayed or their tummies, they have to drink all this stuff to show themselves, to see if there's a problem, or surgically?
Surgically.
They
Mhm.
are going for surgery, and that's what they're supposed to have, are those apple or whatever,
Sugar-free or.
sugar-free.
Absolutely fat-free. We figured out we have to find new broth for them.
And so they-
really?
Because I found one that was 0.5 grams of fat, and they still said that was too much. I don't know. I think I need to talk to Dr. Stade because it was a nurse that was telling me. She was like, "No, that's too much." I'm like,
I'm going to a conference on the 20th to learn more about it, so
Bariatric.
I'll pass that down. I'm used to actual stomach stapling, not the lap band, so that's a little new to me.
we made it through. I went to 4 different stores to get her sugar-free popsicles, and then the nurses at 2 in the morning had to go get the broth because ours had too much stuff in it.
Oh, no.
And I think ours only has 1. The chicken that we have, it has 1 gram of fat.
Did you find it powdered? I don't know, it's powdered lower.
They got the Swanson jugs, which have to be after open, I think it's 7 days. I don't know if we go by 7 days, I know that's what they say on the package.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
And then Rebecca, you had a question for Morgan about feeding patients.
Okay, yeah. I had a question.
Something about, we had a patient that's family brought in food.
Oh, yeah, about, because I remember when I first started, it was just you and I, and you told me to always encourage the patient to order something no matter what, and if they don't eat it, then they don't eat it. So we had a patient last week that said his wife was going to get food or something and didn't want to order anything at all, and like I know Carl was the nurse that day, and he said, oh, just get a burger or something, and if you don't eat it, then you don't eat it. Like, I don't know, do we have to like get an order? Because I feel like if the wife doesn't come back with food, then I feel like that'll be on us because we didn't get an order. How does that work?
It's catchy.
Yeah, that's a good question.
We just went ahead and got the food.
It doesn't hurt, I guess.
So I mean, like anything could happen. Like the person could leave and like get in an accident or something, and then that
Right.
patient will be hungry all night because there's no food. I mean, obviously we can make a sandwich for him, but
Right.
he might be disappointed that he didn't get the food that he originally wanted. I don't know.
I guess it depends on the situation. Like if you're encouraging, and they're starting to get angry, then I would just let it be. And if they need a sandwich later, then that's.
And they're gonna get a cold turkey
Yep.
sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Anything else? Nope. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan.
It doesn't matter if you want to stop. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna do this. Whoever, I don't know why I never just leave there.
I lost mine.
The
If someone
lavatory
finds
do.
mine, let me know.
Because they can't have their drinks in there. And I need to take my lunch in here. They'd always come in and get a drink and then walk back in.
Alrighty. Well, one of the demonstrations I was going to show how to cut a bagel because we've had a lot of cuts in the past 2 months happen. But another thing that I know some people are getting frustrated with is wrapping silverware. So I'm just going to demonstrate. It's the knife down first, then the fork, then the spoon.
What?
And then
My life
I need
is
a
a lie.
standing. Yeah, I do. So then you fold in the bottom corner, and then you're also going to fold in this too, because the main point is getting the silverware covered, so that it's not to air or anything. And then in restaurants, they cover the silverware because little kids get a hold of it, and then if they go like this, they're not going to stab themselves in the eye. Just another fun fact.
So both ends have to be covered.
Yes, it's very important to get the silverware covered.
Can we like unwrap the smaller square bigger? And then do like the half thing like we did with the bigger napkins that you showed us?
Like this.
Are we gonna have that size from now on?
But like,
I could not
like unfold
find the
that
ones
half.
we used to unfold it more.
Yeah. And then
Fold it
like,
like we
fold
used
it
to.
like in a triangle like you showed us before.
Unfold it and then fold it.
My main thing is just the way the silverware is in there, that way it fits in there nicely, and then just making sure that it gets covered. Oh. That works.
That's a lot of rolling.
Yeah, I wrapped silverware last night because I almost forgot in like 10 minutes, probably less than that with Jeannie. I was like, but, and then for knife safety, I don't have a bagel, but I just want to just hold the bagel down like this. Don't like pick it up and try cutting and then that's going to cut your finger, but hold it like this and then cut through the middle would be a good way to do it so you don't cut yourself. Also, incident reports have to be filed at that time of the incident, and you can't leave the building without having a drug test, is how it works. You can't just file incident report and take a drug test later. Drug test has to be done before you leave the building.
For
What
any
about
incident?
mine back there?
As far as I know,
I only got to get one done. I'm the one that ran into her.
before she could leave. Yeah.